Okay, so welcome back to the last session of Unit 2. And in this session, we are specifically going to consider what we call or look at what we call the self and the self image. Every individual has self, and we also have a self image. So at the end of this session, we will be able to define and explain consumer self concept, explain the forms of consumer self image, explain that explain the association between gender roles and self-image, and explain body image and its implication for marketing. All right, so let's set the ball rolling. Now, we are saying that the consumer self-concept plays a significant role in predicting and explaining behavior. So the behavior of consumers or the concept of self-concept actually is very critical or is very critical in predicting and explaining behavior of consumers. Consumers have multiple selves. Yes, every individual, one way or the other, has multiple self, and that is why at times people began to be shocked when they see the other self of for the particular individual. Hey, this my customer, I've never seen her done this. I've never seen her done this before. Today, her behavior is some way to me. That is another self of the person, and it reflects the many roles that they play in their daily lives. So, according to Beckman, Lindquist, and Sergi, 1996, social psychologist talks about the multiple self as role identity or identities. A typical university student, for example, has a number of identities outside the classroom. As a son or daughter, brother or sister, class leader, friend, and so on. So if you take a typical university student or a typical like some of you yourself, the way you present yourself in terms of attending classes is totally different from the way you present yourself in your various or in your respective houses or destinations. And that actually reflects the type of self that we are talking about. So without wasting my time, we are saying that there are at least four types of self-image that play a part in consumers' behavior. So we have the actual self-image, we have the ideal self-image, we have the social self-image, and we have the ideal social self-image. I believe we have unless of course you didn't go to DHS or unless of course you didn't go to SS. We are all familiar with these things, or one way or the other, we have heard it somewhere. So let's straight move on straight. When we say the actual self, so all of you have actual self. So the actual self refers to how consumers see themselves. So if you say, I'm Alexander, my actual self is how I perceive myself to be. In other words, my personal identity. So if I'm to say I'm Alexander and you tell me to tell you about Alexander, probably I may tell you certain things that me myself I know that that is not my actual self. So in consumer wise, actual self refers to how consumers see themselves. There are certain consumers, they know that this is how they are. So that is the actual self. And we have the ideal self image. We have the ideal self image. So the ideal self image refers to how consumers would like to be or see themselves. Yes, and it's very true. Every individual, one way or the other, that is why the concept of the Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs talked about. You get to a particular level, then you think that you are not satisfied with it, but you rather want something different. So your actual self, sometimes people deny their actual self. They don't like the way they see themselves, and therefore they actually would want to look like something else. So the ideal self-image is what the person actually want to see as him or herself, or how the person would want to be like. Then we have the social self-image. This is how consumers feel others sees them. So there are times that sometimes you even sit down as a consumer or a customer after coming from the market, So how is this people or my supplier perceiving me to be like? Do they see me to be a troublesome person or what? That is the social self-image. How you, the consumer, you see how you feel others sees you. So sometimes you feel that you are not troublesome, but there's this conviction that the customers or your client or your supplier sees you to be difficult. Then we have the ideal social self-image. The ideal social self-image. And this refers to how consumers would like others to see them. So this one is not the social self where they perceive others to see them like, or how they feel people see them like. But this one basically talks about how consumers would like others to see them. So if they, for example, if the suppliers see them to be troublesome, they don't feel okay because that is not what they think they are, but rather the consumers would like others to see them in a different way. So that is what you refer to as the ideal social self image. Now let's move on to the gender roles and self image. Certain products in the marketplace are invariably perceived as men's goods, while others are perceived as what? Women. So the role of gender, we are actually looking at the role of gender in as much as male and female is concerned, as far as um, our country is also concerned. We, we only have either you are a male or you are a female. You don't have transgender in our setting or in our that is okay anyway. We have different perspective all coming up and all that. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, I only know male and female. So we are saying that if you go to the market, one of the role that gender plays in an attempt of self-image is that there are certain products that has been categorically or that have been purported for only men, and therefore when we see a lady wearing it, we try to criticize. All right. So then we have the body image as well. So the body image, which also refers to how people see their own bodies, physical selves and appearance is central to personal identity. That sometimes people see themselves that they are not beautiful. And therefore, if people are saying that they are beautiful, they don't want to admit it. So that is the body image that they have. That is the mental picture that they have created for themselves. Now, what is the marketing implication? So we have to discuss the marketing implication and probably so these are some of the marketing implication to consumers. So this is the end of the session. This is the end of the session. Thank you very much.